Welcome to Land House. I'm Seth. Today I have got the Vipboss 12.8 volt lithium iron phosphate battery. This is rated at 320 amp hours, which gives you 4,096 watt hours of capacity. It's a big battery, weighs 66 pounds, and is pretty packed full of features. It's got low voltage protection, high voltage protection. It's got temperature disconnect for high temp and low temp, Bluetooth connectivity, and all kinds of good stuff. So let's take a dive into the features of this battery. The battery was shipped in a box with plenty of foam padding. Seems to be no damage whatsoever to the battery itself. So taking a tour around this battery, it does have carrying handles on the side which do fold out of the way, which is nice. The battery weighs 66 pounds, so definitely be careful when you pick this up by yourself. It does have the terminal screws there, and also had a nice user manual. Now up here on the top it does have these little covers to protect the terminal from being damaged. As you can see on the front of the battery, it has 12.8 volt nominal voltage, 320 amp hours, lithium iron phosphate. The back of the battery does have some helpful information. 12.8 volts, 320 amp hours, charging voltage. It's got the recommended charging current. The 200 amp for max charge and max continuous discharge is also really awesome. And the peak discharge current, 600 amps. That's quite impressive. I've got a 14.6 volt lithium iron phosphate charger that I'm going to use to charge this battery up for our initial test here. Charging light indicator has now come on. The battery is being charged. And you can look at the different cells inside of here to see the current voltage as well. It's a cool app, has some nice features, but this main page here is what we're going to be looking at for the charge state of this battery. We have it, 100% state of charge. That's what we need to know on that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this battery charger, but the instructions on connecting a load told us to go into the control setting here and turn off the charge switch. There we go, and turn off the discharge switch as well. We should be good to go to connect up stuff. So we'll go ahead and get this disconnected. For the discharge test of this battery, I'm going to be using a 2000 watt inverter and also a heater. And that will give us a good output that's consistent, and we can count on that time to give us a good, accurate watt-hour output. So go ahead and get this connected. Now there should not be any spark because we turned off the battery's output. All right, let's see if there's any spark. Nope, zero spark on that. Excellent. I'm going to go back into the app and turn on the charging switch, and we should see this turn on when I turn on the discharge switch here. Here we go. 13.8 volts, very nice. I've got a stopwatch. I'm going to set the heater to the maximum setting, and then we will see what the watts are for the output in both the inverter and what the battery says through the app. And we'll know with the timer how close we get to the 4,096 watt hour value. So go ahead and turn this all the way to high. Stopwatch is now started. The output power is indicated as 1,600 watts. We've got 1,400 watts here on the inverter, so the value we want to consider is that 1,600. If my math is right, we've got 4,096 watt hours divided by 1,600 watts. So we're looking at 2.5 hours of runtime. So I'll be back here in a bit and we'll check to see how this battery is doing. We're at 2.5 hours with 1% left here on the battery state of charge. Now it's 11.18 volts. We've got 10.5 on my inverter, and so we should be seeing this turn off at any moment now. So let's keep track of the time and see when this system shuts down. My inverter has dropped below 10 volts, and so it may actually shut off before the battery does, but it's real close here. All right, yes, the inverter actually had the low voltage protection turn off, but it's already at 0% state of charge, so we'll just consider it done. 2 hours, 32 minutes. This actually comes out to very, very close to the 4,096 watt hours. So as far as the capacity goes, this thing is running to spec, which is awesome. Now, that concludes the first look at this battery and our discharge test. I'm actually going to take this to a friend's house and we're going to hook it up to his solar system and watch this thing turn a refrigerator on. So let's head over there real quick and get this battery set up into a real world scenario. I now have the battery here at an off-grid location. This is a metal storage container that has an inverter, a charge controller, and now has the Vipboss battery. This is going to power some lights here in the container and also a freezer fridge combo. So I've got this installed. Let's turn everything on, see it operating.
Ta-da! Light.
Freezer fridge is also running.
This is a brand new freezer. It seems to be on.
This setup is using the Vipboss 12.8 volt lithium iron phosphate battery.
Thank you so much for watching this review on the Vipboss 320 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. From my tests here, I've seen that it is on spec for the capacity and seems to work well with the low voltage cutoff. If you want to check out more information on this battery, I will have a link in the description down below so you can learn more information or pick one of these up for your very own.